So, first of all, thank you for joining me. Thanks for being here. I would like to ask a favor when you're watching this video, if you could please share this and share this to your community. I would love to. I really want to try to reach, especially solopreneurs, and help us thrive in business and especially in this time. And that's why I'm creating these videos and trying to get the word out there. So I would love it if I would be really, really honored if you would share these videos. So here's what we're talking about today. It has been, for at least for my family, it has been now 2 weeks since we have been in isolation with this coronavirus pandemic. And a lot has changed. Clearly, a lot has changed. When all this started coming down, there was so much uncertainty and so much fear and so much, is this real? Are people just overreacting? And now here we are. We see a much more real situation. We know we're in this for the long haul. And so there is a lot of uncertainty and fear. And I have spent the last couple of weeks talking to a lot of business owners and finding out how they're coping with this, how they're doing it. I've been in lots of different groups. I've just been doing a lot of listening and figuring out how let's see. Sorry, I'm checking notices. No, Jamie, I went live at 9, but we might have missed a few minutes there. We'll have to scroll through the video if people are watching it on replay, unfortunately. but but what I've been hearing from people are a couple of different situations. I'm hearing people who are like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to kind of freeze and not do anything and just ride this out. I kind of envision, on a rocky ship on the stormy seas, just kind of hanging on for dear life, and ride it out. And it's going to be over. It's going to be over. It's going to be over, and then be ready to move and to go back to the way it was. So that's one option. I've heard people who are like, I'm just going to shrink way back, cut as much as I can, offer as little as possible. I'm not expecting to make a lot of sales now. I'm not expecting to do a lot. And they really shrink back and kind of go hide. If we continue the ship on the stormy seas analogy, they kind of go hide in the bottom of the ship. So those are both, I'm hearing a lot of that. But I'm also hearing people who are ready to get into action, to do something, to take advantage of this time, to make sure this time isn't wasted. Because this is, well, we have a choice. Like, we have a choice of how we're going to look at this time. And you have a choice right now with what you are going to do with this time. Now we know that we've got at least another month, and hopefully no longer. And we can all pray and hope for that, but at least a month. So what are you going to do with this time? Are you going to hang on for dear life? Are you going to shrink back? Are you going to get into action and figure something out for your business? Now, I know there's a lot of businesses who are having to close their doors, having to lay off people who are really in some major trouble. And my heart goes out to them. And I know, and they've got difficult situations. But there are other big companies who are thriving and who are still moving forward. And even as solopreneurs, like, we have an amazing opportunity because we are resilient and resourceful, and we can pivot very quickly. So how can we adjust? How can we adjust quickly, and how can we continue to serve? So what's the choice that you're making? What do you want to shrink? Do you want to freeze? Or do you want to advance and move forward and to get into action? And I would love for you to put that in the comments. Now that I'm seeing in the comments, put that in the comments. What choice are you making? Even if you don't own a business right now, you get to make the same choice. What are you going to do with this time that you have to be stuck at your house, where you can't be out doing all of the things that you're used to be doing? So what are the choices that you're making? How are you going to respond? How are you going to take advantage of this time? Put that in the comments if you would. If you've got something that you're doing, let's do it. Let's do it together. Let's band together and help each other. So one of the things, I was thinking about a couple things that we can do right now, because it is such a scary time that it is kind of like, I don't know what kind of moves to make. So here's a couple of things to maybe guide your thoughts. First of all, what does your community need right now? What do they need? We're all hurting, we're all struggling. What does your community, your audience, your ideal client, what do they need? What do they need right now that you can perhaps serve them with? What what do your prospects need? How can you serve them? Maybe it is adjusting how you go to market. Maybe it is adjusting how you show up. Maybe it is taking other knowledge that you have that you can repurpose and somehow share or help other people with. What do you have right now? This is a perfect time to innovate. And I love that word, but innovating our businesses, thinking outside the box. I have heard some amazing suggestions and opportunities and ways that people are pivoting their businesses to be able to serve their community. So what can you do? One of the things that I did a couple weeks ago was I started the Facebook group, How to Run Your Business Virtually. Because at that moment, people were freaking out about how to be virtual, how to manage their team, how to run a Zoom call. Now, I would say Zoom is a much more household name, right? Like everybody's on Zoom. Even Zoom has become my son's vocabulary. Like everybody's talking about Zoom. So we're all much more comfortable now, maybe. But I started that Facebook group to serve, and that group is still open. So if you need that insight, join that group. We'd love to have you. It's still there, and I'm going to leave it up for quite a while. But what are other ways that you can take the service you already do, take the training that you already do, and use that to serve your people now? Is it trainings? Is it new programs? Is it just payment options, different leniency with payment options to help people who are fearful of spending money right now? Like that's a very real concern. I totally get that. But at the same time, so as business owners, we have to worry about our own cash flow, but we also need to be very sensitive to the situation. So are there other things that you can do to still help people, but maybe just be a little bit more lenient with your payment terms? So how can we band together? How can we really work together? Are there partnerships that you could form? Are there people that you could reach out to who could help your audience, and that you're the one bringing that to your audience to serve that up? I heard the other day that when all this is over, people aren't going to remember the people who hunkered down or who shrunk back. They're going to remember the people who were there to help. And we have that unique opportunity, especially as small businesses and solopreneurs. So this could be that time to pivot, that time. It's not the time to stop serving, is my point. You have a unique ability, and I want you to get out there and with your audience and keep serving. We will go back to, now is the time to do new things, to try new things, to experiment. When all this is over, we can go back to the way it was if that's what you want, but maybe some of this creative time and some of this innovation time will actually make you stronger. Maybe we'll prepare that launch pad so that way when this does blow over, when this is done, you are ready to rock it, that you are ready to shoot the moon because now you're stronger, because you now have a better way, a more innovative way to serve your clients with things that you wouldn't even be willing to do. I was talking with another woman who runs a coaching business, and she does everything in person. And so now she's talking about, how do I get this virtually? Like that's going to help serve her. If she learns this skill and learns how to continue serving her clients virtually, that will be something she can continue. Like this isn't going to be something that then she just turns off. She can continue that going forward, even if she brings back her in-person workshops, which is pretty powerful. So how are you going to take advantage of this time? Maybe you have a bunch of things on the back burner, things on the someday I'll get to list. Now's the time. Maybe this is the time to work on your business. How do you stay in touch with your clients? What are some of those things in your business that you know you need to do, but it's not something that has always been urgent or super important? Well, maybe now it is super important. You've got the time. Things like, I've heard this multiple times, things like working on your systems, on your SOPs or your standing operating procedures. I have heard that over and over. This is a perfect time to do that. Now, here's the thing. People are like, I don't know how to do that. And that's one of the things that we do in the Scale Your Brand method. Like, we talk about your branding, but then we also talk about your systems. Now's the time to start working on those things. When you've got the time to focus on your business, to think about your business, now's the time to do all of that. Plus, another option is I also just created, and literally it was up, we put it up 10 minutes ago, or we got it up 10 minutes ago, the Client Journey Mapping Virtual Workshop. I'm going to lead this next Thursday from 10 to 12 a.m. to p.m., 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., so 2 hours, virtually. And this will be like no virtual workshop or no virtual meeting you've ever been in. You're going to learn, you're going to think through, you're going to work on your business, and you're going to get to interact on the small group level with other people to really figure out your client journey. I mean, what a perfect time to be able to take a step back and really think about, what do you want your client to experience from the moment that they learn about you, that very first impression, to all the way to when you're nurturing them and they're done working with you, but you're still staying in contact with them so that they're a raving fan. There is a big journey in there that your client goes on. How are you going to map that out? What are they going through in each of those stages, and what can you do for them? Now is the perfect time to be thinking about this, because we're running our business and we're on that gerbil wheel of trying to keep everything going. We don't necessarily have the time to think about that. So this is a perfect chance. So it'll be next Thursday, April 9th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's Central Time, but people can join from anywhere. There's a link in the description of this video, and we would love to have you. So here's the thing. This would normally be at least a $197 workshop. This is going to be a meaty workshop. But given the situation, we are doing special COVID-19 pricing. So it's $19. So share this with your friends. Get it out there. Like, this is going to be such a game changer for you and for your business and for your client experience. Like, come do this work with us and find the gaps in your client experience. Find the gaps and find the places where you can ramp things up a little bit and over deliver and go above and beyond. It is such a powerful exercise that I can't wait for you to come join us. So join us again April 9th from 10 to 12. The registration link is in the description here. Share it with your friends. Get as many people in as you can. We have unlimited capacity, and we can get as many people in here and working on their business so that we can do this together and come out stronger, ready to launch your rocket as soon as we are back to leaving our houses. So I hope this has been helpful. I encourage you, and if you are looking for, I've also had lots of conversations with people just kind of brainstorming how they can innovate. I love brainstorming with people. So if you're looking for that sounding board, let me know. Hit me up. We'll get on the phone for a few minutes and come up with some good stuff for you. So, but the big thing right now is sign up for the Client Journey Mapping Workshop, because it's going to be a fantastic workshop. It'll be next week, right around this time, 10 a.m. to 12. It'll be right after the live, and we'll have the training, and you can work on your business and ramp up your client experience to be ready to go when coronavirus is not part of our lives anymore. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.